Thanks to digital distributors like Steam and the Xbox Live Arcade, smaller indie developers have been able to make an impact on the larger game scene with cheaper but creative titles. Back in 2010, one indie title that drew a tremendous amount of critical acclaim was Limbo. Limbo is a very creative puzzle platformer with very simple controls, minimal plot, but striking and creative visuals. You play a nameless boy searching for his sister in a dark forest, navigating environmental hazards, traps, and dark creatures. The environments change to more urban and industrial settings as the game progresses, but it keeps its dark, semi-horror feel thanks to the grim visuals and incredible sound design. And when I say the game is dark, I'm not just talking about the graphics, which are simple but very stylish. The player can suffer a ton of grisly deaths from falls, spikes, bear traps, saw blades, and electricity, all of which are consequences of bad timing or wrong puzzle solutions. Most of the puzzles are based around the platforming, be they tricky jumps, avoiding traps, or some clever physics mechanics. They start off fairly easy, but become near diabolical by the last third of the game. There are a lot of little moments in this game that stand out long after you've played it. I don't think anyone who plays this is ever going to forget the parts with the giant spider. So while the game may be a bit short on plot and purpose, it's rich in atmosphere and spectacle. Limbo costs about $10 on Steam, or 1,200 Microsoft points on the Xbox, which is actually $15. Seriously, Microsoft, stop with the stupid point system and just charge real money. Anyway, on the free to 10 scale, I give Limbo a respectable 5. That's not to say I think poorly of the game, but for what you get, that's what I'd want to pay. Limbo took me about 4 hours to complete, including all my deaths and puzzle mulling, so it's not a terribly long experience, and it doesn't have great replay value. Also, the last third of the game got hair-pullingly frustrating, and I started to feel like the game had gotten lost from what little plot it had when suddenly it ended rather anticlimactically. The creators never bothered to expand or explain the game's story, leading many to come up with their own theories about how the game is about purgatory, or the literal limbo of Catholicism, or the progression of life to death, or how industrialization leads to misery, and so on. Personally, I felt the story was lacking, but maybe that was the whole point. Still, it's a very strong, cheap game worth the full price just for the experience it creates, but for most gamers I'd recommend picking it up on sale.